The city sidewalk was her studio, the cold concrete her canvas. For Maya, a girl whose home was the vast indifferent city, a piece of charcoal was her most prized possession. She wasn't begging. She was creating. Each day, she'd find a spot, lay out a warm piece of cardboard, and draw the world as she saw it, not the gray, grimy reality, but the hidden beauty she found in the faces of strangers. Most people hurried past, their eyes averted, but Maya kept drawing, her art a silent plea to be seen. One brisk afternoon, a man in a crisp suit paused. He wasn't like the others who shot her pitying glances. His eyes, though weary, held a spark of genuine curiosity. He looked at her drawings, then at her, and a small, tired smile touched his lips. "You have a gift," he said, his voice gentle. Maya, unused to such kindness, just nodded, her cheeks flushing. "Could you draw me?" he asked, surprising her. She agreed, her fingers trembling slightly as she picked up her charcoal. For the next 20 minutes, Maya was completely absorbed. She didn't just sketch his features, the sharp line of his jaw, the crow's feet by his eyes. She drew the story she saw in them. A hint of sadness, a flicker of lost hope, and a deep buried kindness. As she sketched, she noticed something faint on his wrist, a barely visible tattoo, a specific intricate star. It felt familiar, like a ghost from a half-forgotten dream. When she was done, she handed him the portrait. The man stared at it, his breath catching. It was more than a likeness. It was as if she had looked straight into his soul. He saw the man he used to be, the one he was trying to find again. He pulled out his wallet, but Maya shook her head. "It's a gift," she whispered. The man, whose name was David, was taken aback. He insisted on paying, but she was firm. "Sometimes seeing someone is payment enough," she said. David nodded, a profound respect in his eyes. He thanked her and walked away, the portrait held carefully in his hands. David couldn't get Maya out of his mind. Back in his sterile, empty office, he looked at the drawing. She had captured an echo of his past, a man who once had a family. His gaze drifted to a faded photograph on his desk, his wife and daughter, lost to him years ago after a bitter argument and a misunderstanding he never got the chance to fix. He looked closer at the drawing Maya made, then at the photo. His heart hammered in his chest. On his daughter's tiny wrist in the photograph was a temporary tattoo she had loved, the exact same intricate star Maya had drawn on his. It couldn't be. A wild, impossible hope surged through him. He remembered the day his daughter got that tattoo at a fair, how she'd proudly shown it to him. Could this homeless artist, this girl with the old soul and knowing eyes, be his Lily? His daughter, who had run away after her mother's death, swallowed by the city? The resemblance was there, hidden under layers of hardship, but present in the curve of her smile and the intensity of her gaze. He had to know. The next day, David returned to the same spot, but Maya wasn't there. Panic seized him. He searched the surrounding streets, his calls of Maya, lost in the city's noise. Days turned into a week. He felt a despair he hadn't known since he lost his family. He couldn't lose her again. In desperation, he went to the police, showing them the portrait and the old photograph. He was just another worried man, but the officer, moved by his story, agreed to help. They found her a few days later, huddled in a different alley, sketching a stray cat. When Maya saw David approaching with a police officer, her eyes widened with fear. She thought she was in trouble. She scrambled to gather her things, ready to run. But David knelt before her, his voice choked with emotion. "I'm not here to hurt you," he said, holding out the old family photograph. I think you're my daughter, Lily." Maya froze, her eyes fixed on the picture. She saw a smiling little girl, a happy woman, and a younger, happier version of the man in front of her. Then she saw the star tattoo on the little girl's wrist. Memories, fragmented and blurry, rushed back, a warm laugh, a favorite lullaby, the argument, the running away, and the years of surviving. Where the name Lily faded and became Maya, tears streamed down her face as she looked from the photo to David's tear-filled eyes. "Dad?" she whispered, the word feeling foreign yet right on her tongue. In that instant, the cold concrete alley transformed into a place of reunion. David pulled her into an embrace, holding his daughter for the first time in a decade. The years of pain and separation melted away in a flood of tears and relief. The police officer stood back, a respectful smile on his face, witnessing a miracle on a city sidewalk. The search was over. A family, torn apart by tragedy and time, was finally whole again. Today, Maya, or Lily, as she's learning to be again, no longer draws on the street. She has a real studio, a gift from her father. Her canvases are now filled with color, depicting stories of hope, connection, and the incredible power of a single act of kindness. Her first official gallery exhibition featured one drawing in a place of honor, the charcoal portrait of a sad-eyed stranger who turned out to be her father. It's a reminder that even in the darkest of places, a small spark of humanity can light the way home. Thank you so much for watching this story unfold. If it touched your heart, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more inspiring content. Remember to look for the beauty in others. You never know what truth you might uncover. See you next time.